Today, we're taking a closer look at the crypto scene in Switzerland. The country's government generally has a positive outlook on digital currency. And joining me now is Hani Rashwan, CEO of 21.co, and Alexander E. Brunner, president of Home of Blockchain.Swiss and author of Crypto Nation Switzerland. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, glad to have you both on here. And I want to start with you, Hani. Last month, 21.co announced it raised $25 million in funding, and now with the value up to $2 billion, the company has become Switzerland's largest crypto unicorn. How was this funding round? How was it possible, and why is this impressive to you, seeing as how this happened during a crypto winter?
Yeah, I don't know that I would recommend fundraising in July of 2022. It was certainly a challenge. I think what investors saw is that under our 21 Shares brand, we've become the world's largest issuer of crypto exchange-traded products, having listed the first crypto ETP here in Switzerland. And since the start of the year, in a very challenging climate, we've increased our market share significantly. And I think I've seen about $250 million of net new inflows into our products. And so something's clearly working. And this isn't our first winter. And I think investors really recognize that the 3 past years of progress have been quite remarkable.
Mm-hmm. And give us a little bit more insight into 21.co. What is the goal of the company, and sort of how you stand out in the market, like you stated.
Sure. So we simply see what we do as building bridges into the crypto world. We want to make it as easy as possible for investors, traditional investors and new investors alike, to buy crypto assets. So under that, we have built the world's largest ETF issuer in the crypto space, which means that you can come on 7, I think, or 8 now stock exchanges globally, here in Europe, in the Middle East, in Australia, and be able to buy Bitcoin as an ETF with your bank or brokerage, or an index of DeFi, a short Bitcoin, even USD yield. And so we provide all of that in ETF form under 21 Shares. And we provide that in token form under Amun. So you could buy a Solana ecosystem index using your Phantom wallet, or you can buy an ETP version of that as well.
And congratulations on all the success so far. Definitely looking forward to more in the future. And Alex, you actually created the Swiss Digital Asset Market Report in 2022. Tell us a little bit about your research in the report and some of the connection with the World Economic Forum.
Absolutely, yes. And congratulations to Hani as well. And I think, 21 Share company is a very good example how Switzerland is bridging the traditional world of finance and digital assets. And I think it has a long history. And the implementation, even in daily lives, is really increasing. Actually, you can pay through credit card with Bitcoin nowadays in any shop. I recently bought a helmet in a bicycle shop with Bitcoin. Or you can go to the luxury hotel we have here up the road, and you can buy your champagne or your whiskey with Bitcoin. So Switzerland has really been at the forefront and blending sort of the old world of finance that we very familiar with the new world. And I think it's all about adoption, and those rails, as 21.co is building, are really necessary to bring adoption to the forefront.
And you basically stated the things that you purchased with crypto. I want to get your thoughts there from both of you guys about the news of being able to buy McDonald's with Tether, which I believe is, huge news for Switzerland. What are your thoughts on that, starting with you, Alex?
Actually, I think about 2 years ago, I bought in Bern a hot dog with Bitcoin. Obviously, it's great that I can buy now at McDonald's as well, and you have more choice. I think now from Bitcoin, you also have Tether, and they have what they call Lugano. It's a local community coin. So I think it shows how here as well, innovation is really going ahead. And I think more choice is really required in the future. By the way, you can also pay taxes in the city of Zug. And actually, Lugano wants to do that as well. So more and more use cases, again, blending the two worlds are happening here in Switzerland.
And your thoughts, Hani?
Well, a big theory that I have, and I think a lot of people in the company share internally, is that the biggest use case and advantage of crypto will probably come from more invisible infrastructural layer, like when you think of DeFi and things like that. And so I think better payment rails, cheaper payment rails are some of those things that may not be as sexy, may not be as publicly and consumer focused, but actually will drive a ton of impact to the average user. And so all of these are incredible inflection points that indicate that crypto is here to stay and has a pretty big user benefit that it can offer.
Yes, and Alex, he mentioned Zug, the city which has been nicknamed Crypto Valley. What are some of the businesses and some of the innovations that are happening in this Crypto Valley, so that people that may want to visit or have never heard of it, they can see sort of how it works in the real world?
Visiting is always difficult because we're so decentralized. There's not much to see. But in Switzerland, what I see, I think people talk about crypto or blockchain and they lump everything in one bucket. What I see is now you have all those services at the intersection of traditional finance and digital assets and crypto, for example, what Hani has been talking about. That's one bucket. Then you have more and more sort of Web3 companies. There's one company from Germany that is the number one token and NFT producer. It's called NMaker on Cardano. They just moved to Zurich. And you got the big boys coming, the big tech firms getting involved. I mean, you can look up on Google and they're all acquisitions. And all those three things are happening not only in Zug, but it's now happening in Zurich. It's happening in Geneva, in Lugano, so it's really spreading. And I think what I see is really a testament to the federal, distributed, decentralized structure of Switzerland that really goes nicely with the decentralized structure of this new crypto infrastructure. So, there's a natural fit. And I guess that's one of the reasons why Switzerland is home to so many great companies.
And we've seen this support from the federal government as well. I think one of our federal counselors, who's sort of like a presidential candidate in a different country, has publicly said it's not about Crypto Valley in Zug, it's about Crypto Nation. It's all of Switzerland. And so like the payments we're talking about in Lugano, which are in another state, in another canton, across the entire country of Switzerland, the support for crypto has been rather strong and very encouraging.
Yes, glad to hear that. And, Hani, as someone who has started a successful business, let's say I wanted to start a crypto business and I wanted to put our home in Switzerland. What would be the steps for that to happen?
It's remarkably easy. It's very similar to setting up a business in America or the UK or something like that. You can do a lot of the documents in English, French, German, or Italian. You open up a bank account, and Swiss has a kind of a long history with banking, and the company can be set up within days. It's pretty easy, not bureaucratic at all. And in fact, one of the, if you look at the ease of business scales that various entities publish, Switzerland is near the top of the list, if not the top.
Mm-hmm. So for my viewers watching, if you're looking at setting up a business, you may want to explore Switzerland. You got the man here saying it's pretty simple. So not a lot of hoops to jump through, which is always good.
Just jumping in, Home of Blockchain, our initiative is a public-private partnership to facilitate that. So the easiest answer is either you send Hani an email or you send me an email. Directly put in contact with the government authorities and make it happen. And that's why they're all supporting our initiative. Everyone like Switzerland Global Enterprise, the cantons, everyone is there. So we're welcoming anyone coming here.
And we're very happy to help.
Oh, yeah. You see that across the board with a lot of crypto founders, very, very open to help. One of the only industries that's like that. So glad to see that. And, earlier this year, there was a report that came out that said that Switzerland was testing a CBDC amongst the top investment banks. What are your thoughts about the coexistence of the crypto companies and industry with CBDCs, Alex?
I mean, Thomas Moser is a member of the Swiss National Bank. He has been publishing quite a lot. He was recently on a panel. And when I last spoke to him, I think to me as a citizen of a democracy, besides the use case of CBDCs, I'm really concerned about the privacy side of things. So I think getting that balance right is really key, that you have CBDC, but it doesn't allow governments to track you or even shut you off. Theoretically with CBDC, they can remove the coins from your wallet if they want. So I think Switzerland is really at the forefront thinking about that. How can you get a good balance between privacy and obviously ease of use? And I think that's still to be seen where this is going.
And Hani, what are your thoughts as well?
I mostly agree. I think we will, in the end, see a version of both working and coexisting at the same time. There will be more privacy-focused coins. There will be more regulated private stable coins like what we see with Circle and such. And there will be a number of CBDCs, hopefully working together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with the Crypto Valley, with the companies that are coming there as well, working alongside with CBDCs. One of the things that's impressive about Switzerland is the regulatory framework that allows this innovation to happen. And, one of the things I hear in the market is that it's kind of disjointed from country to country. Would you suggest, Hani, that maybe the regulatory framework of Switzerland could be copied and used by other countries?
We certainly hope so, because it's a pretty good model. The government in Switzerland is very much hands off when it makes sense and deeply involved when it also makes sense. And so there's striking the right balance where you facilitate and allow for innovation to happen while not having a free-for-all on the regulatory front. And that's what attracted us to building the company here.
Mm-hmm. And Alexander, what are your thoughts as well with the regulatory framework across the world?
I mean, this year we have this new DLT law, as we call it. Actually, it's separate laws, but you can tokenize as a private individual or even as a business now assets. And I think that, to my knowledge, is one of the few countries in the world that let you do that. You don't need a bank license. And a lot of talk about regulation is about obviously the legal side of things. If you look to MiCA in the EU or the presidential order in the US. But what is important to remember, and I think Switzerland is also very, very good at that, is not only the law, you need a regulator that implements the law, and you need the whole industry from auditor to lawyers to accountants facilitating that all the way to tax. Again, Switzerland nowadays has an ecosystem that can really help you shape your business, approach the regulator and get an opinion if you can do it that way or you have to tweak it. So I think it's not only the law, and we have that, but it's also how to implement that. And I think Switzerland has done quite a decent job on that side.